Well, welcome back to Off the Cuff. It's something very, very new, and it's about, I mean, two young ladies have been around for quite some time. Now, if you remember All Quiet on the Western Front, that might give them a clue as to where we come from, because that's kind of, I'm the older one.
Yes, I've never let her forget that.
No,
either.
she doesn't let me forget. I'm the older one by, I think, a couple of months or something. Ridiculous.
2 months.
2 months. I mean, it has to be definitely 2 months. Well, it's okay. But All Quiet on the Western Front was when you and I kind of came into this world.
Absolutely.
And both from England, right? I was from Torquay, and you were...
I was from Worcestershire, but the movie All Quiet on the Western Front is about the Second World War, and we were both born in the Second World War. And even as a baby, I remember how difficult some of the things. We used to have the gas masks as babies.
I
to
don't
go
remember
to the shelter.
gas masks, but I do remember the blackouts.
Yes,
I can remember the blackouts all over. We lived in this very big house up on Whitbourne Avenue in Torquay. And I remember the blackouts, and I remember this man walking around, and it was my grandfather. Yeah. And my mum and dad were out. I don't know why they were out and left 3 children. There was 3 of us. It was my brother, my sister, Aubrey, Juliet, and then Ninon. And then we had 2 brothers after that. But yeah, this man was walking outside, and it was my grandfather. But we couldn't open the door or do anything because mum and dad were out. We didn't know what to do. And yeah,
but there wasn't a siren going off.
No, no siren, no.
See, we were in Worcestershire, was near Coventry.
Yeah.
Coventry was really badly
Lady
blitzed.
Godiva.
Yeah, well, that's late, but she wasn't on the horse right then. But,
okay.
Coventry was where they were building all the parts for the planes. So that was badly blitzed. It's about, I don't know exactly how far from Redditch, Worcestershire it was, but probably 15, 20 miles.
Do you think with the war, this is a hypothetical question, I don't even know if I want it answered. Do you think with the war and the planes and everything happening kind of damaged our brains and made us crazy like we are? Or,
no, I don't think it damaged our brains. It definitely made an impact with our life, on our life.
So we'll call it an impact on our life.
Because,
no pun intended.
You know, you feel about all these people that are going through these terrible times.
Yes, but even now, when you can think of the Ukraine, you've been through that. We went through that as children. My sister Juliet was born in 1940.
Yeah.
And she was born in an aerial shelter, and so it's little, you know.
But it definitely, it's definitely like you were just talking about Ukraine when you've been involved in war with, you know.
It does leave something on your mind, and whether how young you are or how old you are.
But in a way, you look at and I'm not down on the younger generation. We don't want our children or the younger generation to ever have to experience.
And they are
in
Ukraine.
Did. But I'm talking about in Ukraine they are.
Yeah.
But so we always want the best for our children and our, you know.
Well, to bring them up in this, technical world.
We want them to have a better life. But in a way, I feel blessed because I'm a survivor.
Yeah.
You learn that.
You do.
When you have to stand in line for ration
There's certain
food.
things you learn that are out of our control that you have to cope with.
Well, you cope with it.
And you cope with it, but you don't even bat an eyelid with it. But over the years, with our nature and how we are, and now we've got this talk show Off the Cuff. Yeah. And we've been reviewing movies and different things on All Quiet on the Western Front. Would you like us to review it for you? Or, you know, I guess we're asking off the cuff because of the 2 of us. We've been around, I'm not going to be so many years, but we have been around a lot of years, and we've lived in lots of different countries. And I was in Beirut, and you've been in Canada. You've been everywhere. We both.
Well, not everywhere, but I lived in Greece and Canada.
I was even in Hong Kong a couple of years ago, and absolutely fabulous. I loved it. It's very different, and you know, it's just different. But
yes, I do feel that our experience, you know, living in other countries. We're more acceptable of other cultures.
Yes.
And that's something that is very important.
Especially now.
Especially now. You have to respect other people's cultures.
We're all the same.
You may not understand them at the time, But, and especially when you live in their countries, it's best.
You should always go by their country.
Yeah.
So I go by America. I'm English, but I'm actually, and you're also English. We're both English, but we're citizens. You're a citizen?
Yes, I am.
We're both citizens.
Dual citizen.
Yeah,
dual citizen.
Yeah, dual
But-
citizen.
And obviously, and I think I'm speaking for you too, we love America.
Oh, I love America.
I wouldn't be here. I'd leave tomorrow if I didn't.
Opportunities.
The opportunities here. People who live in America, the majority, now this is a blanket statement, have no idea how fortunate they are.
They don't know.
Now, there's a lot of cases where people are not so fortunate. We know about that.
We've lived there.
Yeah, but very fortunate. I love America. Yes, it's not perfect. No one's
nothing's perfect. I'm not perfect either.
No.
I know
Really?
you think you're perfect.
Really?
Oh, listen, here
Oh,
she
no, I
goes.
just-
Here comes the real
I
off.
just found out she's
Here's
not
the
perfect.
real off the cuff now coming out.
But
no,
But you know, we do have people that are, listening to our program.
absolutely,
And
we
I'm
do.
wondering if there's anything they would like us to talk about.
Well, ask them.
Well, is there anything? I mean, nothing's any kind of subject. We would definitely love to hear from you. Many people actually, when we're out and about, if
they
they've seen
recognise
it
us.
on
Yep.
YouTube, they say, "Why?" Somebody asked us recently, "Why didn't you talk about the fashions?" And we love fashion.
Oh, we're into fashions.
And we
we're
said,
everything.
well, we should, we would obviously have to take and do a longer show.
But I think it should be done, and I'll tell you why. I think because we're too old ladies. You want to work out our age. You know when we were born, so between 38 and 45. So we're up there. But what difference does it make? And when you were talking about America, how fortunate that you can actually go out and do something. Look at us. We're two old ladies in Vegas. We don't act old. We go to all the clubs. We go everywhere. We had a fabulous time. But there's one thing we don't do. We don't pretend we're a different age.
No.
We
no, what's the
know
point?
who we are. We know what we
We're
are.
quite confident about our age.
Very
too.
confident.
Yes,
very
we're
confident.
very
And
confident.
it doesn't really matter because there's nothing.
Well, look at you.
There's nothing. Look at you.
see.
But we can't go back on our age. And I'm not going to lie about my age. I announced it several months ago.
Yes, we're both.
Yeah, we're both up there. But who cares? But I think we're more concerned, as you said, what would they like? What would you like?
Yeah.
What would you like us to talk about? You know,
Because we
for the
do
older
get asked,
woman.
yeah, we do get asked.
A
Even
lot.
that young lady that came up to us and mentioned about
That's right.
the fashion. And
She said, how come you always
and
dress
we
so
love,
great?
And
You
we
know.
love fashion. In fact, I feel that some, I'm trying to think of the word, area that I would have gotten into.
Oh, the
would be
fashion world.
I mean, we were both models.
Yeah, we
years
started
and years
out.
ago.
Started out at 16.
Yeah. I was about, a little, maybe 17, 18.
Yeah.
But we were both models, so of course we modelled fabulous gowns and fabulous
Oh, well,
clothes.
Harrods and everywhere
Yeah.
we modelled all
But
the way.
we'll
New
have
York.
to. But anything. I mean, some people may feel a little concerned about asking us about certain subjects, but that's okay too.
Yeah.
We feel that we are
I
quite
think we can
knowledgeable.
answer anything. I mean,
And if we don't want to,
you know, if it's embarrassing to
Well, no, we
answer,
don't.
then we're not going to do that. But
No.
I don't think that's going to happen because any question out there can be answered.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is.
do you remember a friend of ours that will remain nameless was talking about her boyfriend the other night?
Yeah.
And you gave her very good advice.
What did I say?
Well, we won't go into it, but
Yes.
she asked us both, and Ninon came up, and she's a wonderful, wonderful
Yes,
lady.
yes,
You know, the
yes,
young girl,
yes.
beautiful girl,
Beautiful.
and
yeah,
you
really
gave her
proper.
such great advice.
Yeah.
And then I believe she's seen off the cuff. So there's an area
There's a lot of areas around there.
about boyfriends and.
We've had our
enough of them.
fair share of that. I was out with one the other day, and I still don't understand the drink or the date or what. I still don't understand what it was, but maybe I didn't want to. Yeah, maybe I didn't want to.
But,
we have a good time together.
Yes,
though.
we do.
We have a fun time. We laugh. We giggle, and everybody picks at us at any bar. They say because we look alike.
Yeah.
We talk alike.
Well, even that maitre d' always says, is your sister on her way? And we've already told him 4 times. that we are not sisters. We're sisters from another mother.
Yeah, we're sisters
but
from
he
another
always
mother.
gets, and he told one of the people in the dining room who offered us a drink.
Yes.
He said, well, you better wait until her sister comes because she'll want one too.
That's how we. So now it's up to you out there. I mean, we're still going to have our programs, right?
Yes, yes.
Now you live in Palm Desert and also Los Angeles.
Between LA, Palm Desert, Las Vegas.
And Las Vegas. So she kind of lives everywhere. I live in Las Vegas, and of course we've got this show, and then we've got a lot of other things. We know a lot of celebrities. I won't name them. Hal Roach was a good friend of mine, and you've got, I think you said George Clooney was a good friend of yours.
Well, he's not a good friend of mine. He knows my daughter. But you were saying about Frank Sinatra, and I knew,
I had a lovely time with him.
I knew his sidekick.
Oh, Dean Martin?
No.
Sammy Davis Jr. I met Sammy Davis
I know
Jr.
Sammy very. I knew Sam. You know, my first job here in Las Vegas, my very first job, I want to open my travel office, and I came in. I needed to get other jobs. I went to a temporary, one of those temporary offices where you get a temporary, and immediately I walked in, she said, have you modeled before? And I was about 40 at the time, 39, 40.
Oh, how fabulous.
And I said, yes. She said, the Desert Inn is looking for a model. Would you go? I went over and I got the job on the spot.
See?
And Sammy Davis was headlining at the, and so over that period of time, I got to know him very well. And he took me to one of the shows, one of the Broadway shows that was at the Sahara. I think it was at the Sahara. Yes, it was. And I'll think about it in a minute what it was. But so you knew Frank, I knew Sam.
I mean, Esther Williams I knew, and obviously Hal Roach was Esther Williams was funny, she was fabulous. But there's so many of them that I've managed to sort of enter into my life, or they entered into them, I don't know. But like you, the same way, I didn't do it purposely. I didn't come from a family that was anywhere near entertainment, anywhere near celebrities. I never came for any of that. Yeah. But I seem to have always, and everyone says, Ninon, how did you meet them? I really don't know.
No, it just happens sometimes.
It all happens.
Yeah,
and I lived in Bel Air. Why did I live in Bel Air?
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of these things happen. And I think it's just your attitude to life. So I guess, ease yourself up a little bit.
Never feel that anybody's better than you.
No, they
because
don't.
They're not.
They're not.
They may have more money. They may be more.
May have less money.
As my mother used to say, they may be more successful. They may have more money. But nobody's Janet.
No, we're not jealous actually.
No. We celebrate.
We've lived such an incredible life. There's nothing to be kind of jealous about anyway. And on that, I guess we have to close out eventually. We've gone for hours because we've had such a life, and we've done so many things. But now it's your turn. Call in. You have to go to YouTube and go to NDD Network on YouTube, and in there they have comments. And put in those comments on the show of what you'd like to hear us talk about or what you'd like us to do, because we're open.
And you're right, and there are things that we're quite knowledgeable about.
You're such strange as it may seem.
Very strange. But really, believe me, we're both knowledgeable about certain subjects because we've been around, we're very experienced. But can I tell you a quick story? Have I got a moment?
Yes, you can.
After the war, there was incredible movies, musicals. 7 Brides for 7 Brothers, Oklahoma, Carousel, all those. And that kind of, because my life as a child wasn't that pleasant. It doesn't matter. I feel blessed. I'm not complaining. I really do. And you've gone through some stuff.
I went through the same thing.
A lot of people after the war too, so it's not just us. This is not a sob story, but these movies saved my life. When my daughter got older, she had to rehearse with somebody in Beverly Hills. And she asked me, Mother, would you drop me or would you pick me up? I have a ride to this person's house, and his name was Sean. And she gave me the address, but you have to remember in Oklahoma and Carousel, Shirley Jones was them, and I I was besotted with these films. It
Of
kind of
course.
saved my
Saved
life.
yeah.
So anyway, I'm driving in Beverly Hills, going down this driveway to pick up my daughter. And just as I'm driving down, this woman comes to the door and she went, "Janet, is that Janet?" I thought, my God, that looks like Shirley Jones.
And it was.
And it was, because it was Sean Cassidy that Jackie was in a play with.
So it was Sean, yeah.
And they were rehearsing, but it didn't ring a bell at the time.
No.
And when I came to the door, I thought, it just made me go back to those times when I was sitting in the theatre. You know,
That's funny.
we couldn't afford to go to the theatre. We used to sneak in the back way. That was when we were about 8, 9 or 10.
But that's funny you should say that, because in England they had in the cinemas, because we call them Odeon Cinema, and Odeon Cinema had Saturday morning shows for children. And my brother, my sister and myself, the three of us, my mum and dad would drop the three of us off and we'd see all these Pathé News, I believe it was.
Oh,
Pathé
yes,
News,
yes,
Pathé News, and all these different movies and everything. And that, you're right, because that was such an excitement on a Saturday morning.
And it brought it all back. And
Yeah.
and she said, "Oh, you must be Jackie's mother." And I said, "Yes." And I told her, I said, "Oh, you have no idea how many times I saw Oklahoma and Carousel." I said, "I just want you to know." And she laughed. She thought
Remember
it was a great...
Carousel? What a movie that was.
Anyway, that's just a quick story.
So that was a quick story. I would hate her to have a long story. I'm telling you.
Yeah, sorry about
that. Was
sorry
don't
about that.
ever be
folks.
sorry. Don't ever be sorry about how you talk and what you do. This is just how we are.
Yeah.
You like it, you don't like it.
Anyway, do call in or write in, and we'd be happy to, discuss give you
whatever you want, talk about you or help you or whatever you want, or something you want to talk about, or something you want us to talk about.
Yes, we'd love it.
Janet,
yes.
It's been a pleasure with you today.
It has been.
I enjoyed it.
We've
Off the cuff is pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. We're pretty
Two
cool.
older ladies in Vegas. I do not know what we are doing in Vegas. I don't know how we landed up in Vegas.
No clue.
Because Vegas is really for young women that can do anything they want. So we're two old women doing whatever we want. Why not?
Why not?
We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Off the cuff.